Good morning. Today is officially bad hair day. Oh gosh, my hair is getting too long, Leah. I need a trim. Let's call. Hello. Can I get an appointment at the beauty shop? I need an appointment at the beauty shop. Oh my gosh, I need a trim. My hair grows fast, but it's thinning out. You know why? Old people, that's what happens when we get old. We're getting older. No, we're getting better. I don't know. I think a little bit of both. Maybe we're getting wiser as we age. I'm thinking like my granny a lot. I go to the grocery store and I pick it up and look at the price and say, nah, I can do without that. Things change as we get older. Somebody got older today. Her name is Ansley Elizabeth, and we have a few photos of her and her baby girl, Miss Xana Jordan, that y'all love and we love. And Ansley Elizabeth, I'm so proud of you. And that is Xana eating a lemon. Xana loves lemons. We don't understand. She loves lemons and she loves pickles. Now, we're not sure why, but the kid loves them. And she gets all squirrely faced and looks like she's going to throw up, but she loves them. And she'll eat lemons when she won't eat anything else. I don't know why. Why does she do that? Something in her body is saying, ooh, I like sour stuff. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. And there is Ansley and Dawn and me. And that was when she wanted to go to the University of Georgia and she wanted to be an attorney. And now she just got a degree. About a week ago, she got her diploma and she's going for another something or other. And I'm very, very proud of this kid because she's working 2 jobs, she's raising her child, and there she is at 4 years old when she was in a beauty pageant. And of course, she was in the beauty pageant that she did very well in because she was precious, and she's still precious. I love this young lady, and I'm so proud of her. And there, everybody, happy birthday, Ansley Elizabeth. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. You know, every day is a gift from God, and we have to accept every single day. When I look back, those 2 ladies, my Aunt Betty and my Aunt Louise, helped my mama and helped my granny, and they all had a part in raising me. I'm a lot like one of them. I'm a little bit like the other one. And then Uncle Fred, who just left us a few years ago, was with us forever. I was in their wedding, and I can remember that. I was 3 years old, and I was in their wedding at Sacred Heart in Atlanta in that big, beautiful church. And it's one of my first memories. And when we look back, today is Throwback Thursday for sure, but we look back, there's who molded me. My Aunt Tempy was tough as the pine knot. Boy, she was tough. My granny was sweet as sugar, but boy, did she make me mine. Uncle Guy had the best work ethics in the world, and Aunt Bessie could buck dance and could cook like nobody's business. That woman could cook, oh my gosh. So I got a little bit of all of them, and I like that. I like when we become the people that molded us. And there's my mama. My mama was strong, she was tough, she was loving, she was way too giving, and she was opinionated. And I'm a whole lot like her because I'm a whole lot opinionated. And that's what happens when you got them genes. Now there is a generation in the late 1800s, and that's the McElreath family. And that's so funny because I look back, I'm listing some property over on Calvert Road, and I thought about my family living over there and going by wagon to church. That church still exists. And I just thought, it's like it was yesterday that Granny was telling me the stories about going to church by wagon. And it's crazy. It's crazy. Pretty soon we'll be going to church by helicopter. I mean, it's just a weird change in the world. Now this, I love this. The devil doesn't come to you with his red face and horns. He comes to you disguised as everything you ever wanted, and that is dedicated to the poor people of New York who have a choice. They can vote for a man who is a socialist, he is a communist, he is anything bad you can possibly imagine. His voting record when he was working in politics was horrible. He showed up for about less than 80% of the vote. He was terrible. Now they're going to make him mayor. So he looks good. He talks the talk. He's got a big old smile, but he is nothing you won't run in New York City. New York City is like the most amazing place ever. People go there to dine. They go there to shop. They go there to Broadway. They go down there to musicals. They go because New York is New York. Do not let him destroy that beautiful city, and it scares me to death. Now there, today, y'all are going to get to see a big, big throwback, because we're going to throw back 16 years to when Hans was just beating cancer. He is at MD Anderson again, and we're going to get the QR code to put up again for you. I hope that you can help him. I hope that we can help him through. He's going to lose a lung tomorrow. He's actually already lost the lung. It's dead inside his body, which is gross and horrible, and it's causing all kinds of problems. It's got to come out. It's got to come out. So tomorrow, would you please, each and every one of my viewers, get on the phone. Call your churches, call your friends, call your neighbors. Please, please, please put Hans Rueffert on your prayer list. Put Amy and the children on your prayer list. And let's get him through this. We've done it before, and this is a praying community, and I'm so proud that y'all tell me, hey, I've got another prayer list, a prayer request for you. That's what it's about. And today, will you please say a prayer for all the officers in the state of Georgia, all the officers who laid their life on the line, because a young lady lost her life yesterday. It wasn't from an accident, but she'd been on the job a long time, and she sadly died. I think she had cancer. They're going to be honoring her now. But we think about how many guys go to work today and don't make it home because they do a domestic violence call. They said that's one of the hardest calls to do, because you don't know what you're facing when you get there. You have no idea. Is it an active shooter? Is it a deranged, crazy husband who's just lost his mind? Is it a woman with a knife? You never know what you're going to face on domestic calls. And this young man faced a domestic call, and he got shot. But looky here, Andrew Clyde, and we had Andrew Clyde on here when he first ran for office, and it was so funny because nobody knew him. And when I had him on here, I said, listen, he loves guns, y'all. You'll love him because he loves guns. And we just laughed about it. But he's been elected. He's doing a great job. He's running again. And he presented, it's so sweet because this is a flag. This is a flag that flew over the Capitol. And he presented it to Brantley when he went back to work. So congratulations. He has successfully healed from the gunshot and back at work. And how cool is that? How cool is that? So again, thank you to everybody who prayed for him. And that's what we understand. You know, this is still the Bible Belt. Did y'all know we're the Bible Belt? We still vote 75% conservative voting. We, you know, we're holding the line, but we got to work at holding the line. Now, today we are going to share something with you that's very, very special to me. It was done in my living room 16 years ago, and it was after Hans came home. This kid had faced so much, and he was sitting right over there on that set when he began to feel really, really weird, and he was bleeding internally. The cancer was getting him. He was a young man. He got in his car as he left ETC that day. He drove home, or he drove to go home, and he didn't make it all the way home. And he was on the phone calling people. I think he called Karen Deaton, and he called his wife, and he got some help. He got some help. But that was the beginning of a miracle, because MD Anderson didn't give him a chance to live, like 1%, and they just did not think this boy was going to make it. It's been 20 years, y'all. So we are going to celebrate his life today. Today is a celebration of Hans, and we're going to celebrate that tomorrow the doctor, the same surgeon who's operated on him over and over and over, is going to get another miracle. And he will be holding what they have to remove from Hans' body. They will analyze it. They will research. They will learn from everything he's been through. He's had so many surgeries. He really looks like a New Jersey road map. I mean, scar after scar after scar, but he never gives up. And that's the thing I love about him. And today we want to talk a little bit about, as the winter sets in, so does depression. Mental health is real. Mental health is real. And I love that Cherie Ralston has made so much headway into working with mental health. I love her, and I'm so proud of her and everything she's doing. But we will still see huge numbers of suicide over the winter. That's usually when it happens. And I have a sight in my mind that I can't get rid of. Angela and Hans are walking in the Relay for Life in Pickens County. They are both cancer survivors. Not very long after that, Angela ended her life. She was fighting some stuff. She had lost her home. She had been cheated and scammed, you name it, and it happened to her. And she didn't know how to handle it. If you're having problems, if you need help, pick up the phone and call and ask for help. And I'm going to get Cherie to come on in the near future, and we're going to talk about, as winter sets in, the winter blahs are real. And if you're already fighting something, there are so many people who came home from war and had PTSD. Do you know what that does to your mind? You get home, you think, okay, I'm going to settle in, everything's going to be okay. Not always. Not always. And there have been so many times that veterans ended their lives. There's so many times that people who worked on the day of 9/11, they ended their lives because they ended up with cancer. They ended up with something terrible. It is real. In America, mental health needs more dollars than we need to be funding, I'll just say it, EBT for illegals. So we need to be funding something that matters to us. The veterans, the police officers, they need help. So think about that as we approach winter. So many people are going to be battling depression, and we need to be there to help them. So I hope that you will, if you know a neighbor who maybe went to combat and you know he came home and had some problems and some issues to deal with, reach out and maybe just say, what can I do to help you? What can I do to help you? Because we all have the ability, whether sharing a meal, sharing a book, sharing a trip, do something to help somebody else. So, and I have to tell y'all, I love that kid I had on yesterday. She's precious. She's just precious. And she sang all the songs I like. That's good. It's like turning on a radio station and you get everything you wanted. So follow her. Jenna Brooks, she is precious, precious, precious. And that girl can sing, and she sings the stuff I like. So that's good. Next time she comes, we've got to get her to do some Loretta Lynn, and we will do that. Now, we're going to take a commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to share a little bit of Hans, because I've got to go find the QR code so we can put it up on the screen. But today is the day that he is preparing for the surgery that can change his life and bring him back to a healthier person. And he's up against it. He's up against it. It's the worst surgery he's faced so far. So we really, really need your prayers today. So let's take a commercial break, and then we'll be back, and we're going to visit with Hans.
Whether you're in the mood for chicken strips, a delicious burger, our classic banana split, or an upside-down thick blizzard treat, we've got you covered. Hot and fresh food every day, every time, and delicious DQ soft serve make the perfect pair at your favorite place. Not fast food, fan food fast. Your Blue Ridge, Ellijay, and Jasper Dairy Queens are your meet, eat, and treat headquarters.
Thank you for choosing DQ. How may I serve you?
If you or your business are looking for local advertising opportunities, we have sponsorships available for new programming coming soon on ETC3. Contact us at 706-697-5591.
Whether you're swimming in the sea or splashing in the pool, making a masterpiece, or just making memories, writing a great American novel, or writing your term paper that's due tomorrow. Whatever you do in life, Farmers is here to protect it. For all your insurance needs, call Donald Curtis in Blue Ridge.
On the front porch singing old familiar song. The tractor's in the barn and the pastor's freshly mown. Looking through the screen door, the aroma draws you in to the heart of the home where old memories begin. The heart of the home keeps calling you in. Sherry's in the kitchen cooking with her friends, sharing recipes together, stories and songs, making new memories, the heart of the home.
Welcome to Heart of the Home. Oh, country living. It doesn't get any better than this. I'm back home. I love it. I love it. Spring is just around the corner, and I know that things will be blooming and things will be growing and herb gardens will be coming along. And I have a young man joining me today who is the master of herb gardening, Hans Rueffert. Welcome, Sunshine.
Thanks for having me again.
Now let's talk about the idea of you being the author of this fabulous cookbook. I love it.
Well, thank you.
We have waited and waited and waited. I had no idea how great it was going to be. It is fabulous.
I'm really proud of it. Thank you.
Now, your wife had a little bit to do with photography.
Yeah, she's just naturally gifted at that, and
she is great.
Yeah, there's a lot of good photography.
Now let's talk about. We said we're going to choose some local recipes, and I asked you about blueberry cornbread. Mm-hmm. Why in the world would you do blueberry cornbread?
Well, you've had like hoe cakes and grilled cakes with cornmeal, and you eat those with syrup and those kind of things too. So I love that combination of sweet corn with something else sweet, and I thought the acidity of the blueberries would be good. Maybe I overthink things sometimes, but I just thought let's give it a go, and it came out really nice.
Well, it looks great. Now talk about ramps, because is spring ramp season?
Yeah, right around April is when you'll have ramps, especially in our area. In fact, for the book, we went up to I think it's on U.S. Highway 1 in Fannin County, way up, and there's a state park up there, and I got to ride a horse for the first time. Walked bow-legged for several days afterwards.
Oh, wow.
But we went way up in the mountains, and when you come across ramps, you actually smell them before you see them when they're ripe, and then before you know it, you're standing in a whole patch of these ramps. And a lot of folks in the mountain areas, they'll discard the greens and just eat the sort of bulbs. And if you don't know what ramps are, they're a wild garlic. They're sort of in the leek family.
And they are very strong.
Yeah, they're very pungent. But the greens you would love because they taste just like sort of garlicky spinach. I don't know how much you love spinach, and that's really what they really taste like garlic-kissed spinach. And
is it one time a year?
Yeah, that's the only time they come up. And people have tried to transplant them from those higher elevations to like your backyard, and they'll grow for one season, but they'll never come back.
Wow.
So they have to be in that high elevation, and they like the colder. In fact, when we went ramp hunting the last time, there was still snow on the ground when we were up there in the mountains. So.
Isn't that amazing? Now, is that something? Did Indians plant ramps? Where did they come from?
It's actually interesting. The city of Chicago is named after ramps. There was an Indian word called Chickagua, which meant the stinking place, which is Chicago. It probably still is the stinking place.
And for you folks in Chicago watching us, we did not mean anything offensive.
So they're growing in the north as well. But it was a part of their regular diet, and just like how garlic was believed to keep away evil spirits and vampires in early Appalachia. Some of those first settlers used ramps in the same way. It was supposed to keep away the evil spirits.
Hans, I've smelled and tasted ramps. It will keep anything away.
But honestly, if you do them right, they're just like the best garlic or onion. They aren't offensive if you do them correctly. But you can, like when you start pickling ramps, then it can be a little woofy,
Right.
So. But I love them. I think that's kind of one of the little food adventures. I got to do a show for Georgia Public Broadcasting which starts in April. It's called Hans Cooks the South.
Do we have a date yet for the first show?
No, it's going to be on their Saturday morning lineup, but
Okay.
I'm not sure exactly the date yet. But one of the cool things was I got to really kind of do all these food adventures, and we started. We really kind of followed the story of Georgia agriculture, starting in the spring with asparagus and ramps and ending in the fall with pecans. So as things became ripe and ready, we went to the farm or to the orchard or in the mountains and discover those ingredients.
Well, this is a perfect example. Welcome to Georgia. I make world famous peach cobbler, and everybody loves my peach cobbler recipe. I've never seen a peach that looked as good as your photo. That is gorgeous.
And you've never smelled them like that either. When you go down
to
Fort Valley in Peach County, I mean, that's what you smell, and you remember that from being a kid when peaches smelled like peaches.
Man.
And we'll talk a little more later, but that's kind of what we talk about in the book too, about finding these local ingredients that are bred for flavor and taste, not bred to be shipped. And those ones you buy at most grocery stores are bred to not bruise and to ship well, and so they don't taste like anything.
Right.
So I'm a big proponent of eating local, and so there's a lot of that in the book as well.
Well, I was so impressed with it, and I just kind of sat and knowing you as a, you know, I've known you since you were 4 years old.
Yep.
It is a part of your legacy, it's a part of your history, but it is the very best of what you do. And we all know that you aren't much of a dessert cook, but I found this awesome dessert recipe. I can do this in 30 seconds. It's Rocky Road.
And my kids love to do it.
It's so simple. So there are simple recipes. There are some pretty detailed recipes in here. But it all is from your heart. And I said, that's going to be the cool thing, because I've known you a long, long time. You started in the kitchen at the Woodbridge Inn. And when we come back, we're going to talk about that. Right now, we're going to go to some of my favorite music that started in Jasper, Georgia. I think we're going to feature Angel Spirit. These young ladies started here in Jasper, Georgia, and been here forever. Sit back and enjoy a great song by Angel Spirit.
Just a sinner saved by grace, I'm headed for a better place. That's all that I can claim in this world. When my race down here is run, and I face the setting sun, holy angels come and take me to my home. Holy angels, take me home. I've been waiting for so long to go and rest beside the river's flow. When I step inside the gate, I will see just what awaits. Holy angels, come and take me to my home. When I reach that golden strand, yonder in the promised land, all my loved ones will be waiting at the throne. Best of all, we'll see the King. How we'll shout and how we'll sing when we hear the Master say, you've made it home. Holy angels, take me home. I've been waiting for so long to go and rest beside the river's flow. When I step inside the gate, I will see just what awaits. Holy angels, come and take me to my home.
Wow, what great music. Now, Hans, those are local grown girls. You're a local grown boy. You came here when you were 4 years old. And we've talked about this in the past. We have a history because I worked at the Woodbridge Inn. When I left Atlanta and came to Jasper, not many job opportunities here. So I landed at the Woodbridge Inn. I was the baker. I made desserts, I made cornbread, I made biscuits before your mom and dad took over.
Right.
Actually, for the first owner. And through the years, I worked for several owners who were not successful. Your parents were very successful, but with that success came a little bit of failure as a family because there were no vacations, honey. You were always working.
We did take some good vacations, but I guess what my parents regret is they couldn't come to our basketball games or tennis matches, those kind of things. We work in the restaurant business when other people are on holiday, so of course we worked Thanksgiving or around Christmas as well. So then those were our busiest times too. So those were definitely stressful times growing up. So. But
from that experience, you learned enough to get yourself to the Food Network.
Yeah, I think I developed a hard work ethic as well. I mean, we always had to work, but I have to tell you, when I started in the kitchen, my dad was on dialysis. We thought he was going to die, and so I wanted to learn how to cook, not as a profession, but just because I wanted to learn it. I thought, we're going to lose this great resource, and so he had his dialysis pole, and he was sitting there, and I was 18 years old. I'd never cooked an egg in my life, nothing. I'd never cooked anything. Cereal and milk was pretty much the extent of my culinary prowess. But after the first night of me in the kitchen, he told my mom, there's no way he's going to be able to do it. It was a disaster. He's got 2 left hands, 2 left feet. There's just no way he's going to be able to do it. But he would sit there and sort of just bark instructions with no clear path on why we're doing
I worked for your daddy.
Yeah.
I know exactly how he barked instructions.
But once I kind of got the hang of it or whatever, I just ran with it. And I still am running with it because, as you know, you never stop learning. And that's the great thing about this as a profession or as a hobby or just somebody who enjoys food. As soon as you think you've got it kind of figured out, here comes, they import a mango or whatever it is, just something new kind of comes into the equation or a new technique of cooking. And for 2,000 years, we've been learning how to cook, and we're still learning how to cook. And so it's just, I love it.
One of my favorite things that you make ever is the carrot bisque.
I think it's in there.
It's in here. Yeah. I was so impressed. But, again, my favorite thing to make for dinner is reservations.
Well, you can make
Can the chef at the Woodbridge Inn now make your carrot bisque?
I don't know if he has or not, but
we need to teach
I'm going to incorporate some of these recipes, I think, into the Woodbridge menu. Because that was always I think I even mentioned that was sort of my little old lady soup. Not that you're one of those.
Oh, yes, I hear you.
But we would get sort of the after church crowd, and they would come in and ask you to have the carrot bisque. And all of them
a little bit sweet, a little bit tangy.
And that ginger gives it a little bit of a, not heat, but it's just the spice.
Wonderful.
But every one of them always thought that I was making it just for them.
Yeah.
So, but no, I think it's a really good one as well.
It is a great recipe. Now let's talk about the choices. I have some recipes that people sent me this week. Have you ever had broccoli cornbread?
No.
Well, I'm going to share this with you because I know you love broccoli.
Oh, yeah, and cornbread.
And a lady sent this in to me from Alto, Georgia, and another lady sent me a baked sweet potato souffle crunch, Miss Edith Hensley. This is a recipe a lot like many people's sweet potato recipe, but a little bit different. In the same week, another lady sent me one. Recipes are only a beginning.
Sure.
And that's the thing. You start with ingredients you like. And if your family likes one thing more than another, switch it out a little bit. Don't get so set into this. You can't.
People get blinders on, and they feel like. And in fact, I start the book out with a little chapter on recipes because I kind of compare it to driving, in that as long as you get to where you want to go, some people might send you on the highway, some people might send you on a scenic route, some people might say take a plane, but as long as you get there, it doesn't matter how you get there. And so I think people are too concerned about the journey, not about the the results. So. Actually, there's something that I'm going to make you read. My dad taught me something about ingredients that I think, this right here.
Okay.
I'll make you read that on your show out loud.
Oh, no. Now, this is Christian Network Television.
Well, that's why I altered the quote.
You can't make chicken salad out of chicken poop. And knowing your daddy, he probably said something else.
Poop was not the word, but...
No. But that's true.
But that is true. You can't use inferior ingredients and expect to get superior results.
Right.
So I think as long as you're starting with great things like fresh, stone ground cornmeal and blueberries, how can you mess that? You really can't mess it up. But if you're starting with, half rotten something or whatever, you can't make it into something that it's not.
That's right.
So if you start with high quality ingredients, you'll always end up with high quality foods.
Well, you started the cover with one of my favorite things, a fresh tomato. And I told you today we're going to share a recipe with folks that I did several years ago. It is scalloped tomatoes. They're not even fresh tomatoes, but I use a good canned brand, and it was in the dead of winter. I told you this. I was having a dinner party. You know how you get everything done and you're in a panic, do I have enough food? So I ran to the cabinet and I grabbed several cans of tomatoes, and this recipe evolved from that. Sit back, take notes. This is very, very simple, and if you like tomatoes and you like a little garlic, I think you're going to like this one, guys. Tonight on Heart of the Home, we're going to do a really simple recipe. My guest, Johnson Collins, said she's not crazy about tomatoes, but I'm going to make a dish you might like. You like pizza? Yes, so you've eaten pizza on tomatoes, and these have a few of the spices that pizza has, and we're going to have mozzarella cheese, so you might end up liking this, and it's got garlic. And you know, our buddy that films this for us has got a horrible cold, and we don't want to get her cold, so we're gonna stuff her full of garlic, aren't we?
Yeah.
I think that's a good plan. This is a really quick and simple recipe. The ingredients are Hunt's tomatoes. We are using 2 cans of diced and 1 can of whole that we're gonna actually cut in half. Mozzarella cheese, a little bit of sugar, a stick of butter, salt, pepper, garlic salt, a few bacon bits, and Johnson.
Garlic crisp.
Garlic crisp. And Johnson is gonna actually, you're just gonna break all those up in little pieces, and we're gonna add them to this. We're gonna bake it. Antioxidants from the tomatoes, a few spices, a whole lot of garlic, and it's gonna be a quick and simple recipe. Okay, Miss Johnson, now your job is to crush all those little crisps that are left. Go right into crushing. Okay, Miss Johnson, we've put 2 cans of the diced tomatoes in here. And to that, we're going to add a can of whole tomatoes. And I told you this is simple. It's going to get a little bit of sugar, not much, because the tomatoes are naturally sweet. We're just going to sprinkle it with a little bit of sugar. And we're going to add black pepper. And a little bit of garlic salt. Some onions. This should be a good antioxidant recipe, shouldn't it? It should also keep everybody from getting a cold. Cut the butter up in just large chunks. It will melt and make this even crispier with the garlic crisp because the butter and the crisp will melt together. So we're going to add a few bacon bits to this. And we're using the real bacon bits. You can fry your own, or you can buy these that come in the package, but these are the real ones. They're not those hard ones that come in the can. Now, Miss Johnson is going to add the garlic crisp. And we need these really, really crushed up good. Have you got them? See if you can crush them a little bit more. All right, let's see how those did. Oh man, that looks perfect. See, we're just going to sprinkle these on top, which is going to add the flavor of the garlic. And then it'll add the texture of the crunchiness. And I'm going to cover this in mozzarella cheese, and we're going to bake it. Okay, here we go. We're going to stick it in the oven, 30 minutes at 325. There you go. Okay. Well, Johnson, it's ready. We're going to pretend this is upside down pizza. You weren't sure you'd like scalloped tomatoes, but if we pretend the crust is on top, there's the cheese, the tomatoes are in the bottom, antioxidants, a lot of garlic, good for you with a cold. We're going to pretend it's pizza and we're going to try it. It smells great, doesn't it?
Yes.
It smells good. It's going to be very hot, I can assure you of that. Guys, this was a simple recipe. It was very inexpensive, and we used my leftovers, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Gotta use those leftovers. Antioxidants, a little calcium. It was easy. It was fun. And we'll see you again next Thursday night. Bye-bye. Bye, Johnson. Folks, I promised you a simple recipe using canned tomatoes. Now, Hans, let's talk about the freshness of fruit and how important it is, as you and I have something in common.
Yep.
I lost my husband to cancer. Do you know how many blackberries I fed that man fighting cancer? Mm. Do you know how many, it was amazing the things I tried to feed him to kill the cancer. Yeah. And we know that you have done well. You had a little saying, somebody sent you a shirt. Yep. You started battling cancer a month or so after the Food Network?
2 weeks after the Food Network.
Wow.
Yeah. I was diagnosed the day before my 33rd birthday, so it was July 12th.
And your sister Sonia had just lost her life to cancer.
Yeah, the year prior, yeah.
She was how old?
She was 34. Yeah.
So your parents, their son has just come home from New York, everything was great with the Food Network, and you're immediately diagnosed with cancer.
Yeah, and you know, I was having sort of these, I guess, you know, symptoms that I would have just chalked off to stress, because the Food Network thing was very stressful. I mean, it's a big...
No, I can't imagine that.
It was fun. It was tremendous fun, yeah. But it was stressful. And so I was having some weakness issues, some dizziness issues, and I just kind of just pawned them off to, I'm just stressed out, you know, kind of thing. So, but obviously that wasn't the case, and lost half of my stomach and half of my esophagus to cancer, which obviously this ties into the title of the book, to eat like there's no tomorrow.
Right,
Because
and I think that's the thing we want to share with people. This is truly not just a cookbook. It is your life.
Yeah.
It is your life, and you talk about every aspect of it, the good, the bad, the ugly.
Yeah, but I feel like it's not so autobiographical that it's not relevant to other people. I mean, that's why I tried to have some of these life lessons learned, like on optimism, on the importance of family, and also the importance of eating well. So to where, yes, they're my stories from my perspective, but they're relevant to other people.
Absolutely. And the thing we did when when you get that cancer diagnosis, what did I do wrong? Well, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
This is something that's happened to you, and you just move on. We talked about spinach. We ate spinach every day. We did blackberries every day. We did everything we thought would help, and inevitably the end came quickly.
The thing about it is too, of course, and we know it now more than ever. It's that the spinach and blackberries needed to happen early, so much earlier in life. It's about prevention.
Exactly.
You know, it's there's only so much foods can do once you've been diagnosed, but there's so much it can do prior to diagnosis. So that's the important thing, is eating those good things. And I'm not a health food nut to the point where I think anybody should be, every single meal has to be. But I think sort of 70-30. If you're eating 70%, you're proud to tell people what you're eating, and the other 30% might be a cheeseburger or a milkshake. That's fine. I mean, don't. I still want you to enjoy food, but I think there's a lot to be said about the power of food. And not only preventing but also combating cancer.
Well, let's talk about where people can meet you, because you're going to be in Atlanta or in Marietta in the near future.
Yeah, the Metropolitan Home Cooking Show is coming up in April at the Cobb Galleria Center. I think it's the second weekend of April. I think it's April 18th and 19th. And Paula Deen, the Neelys, Giada De Laurentiis, Guy Fieri, and Bobby Flay, and then for some reason me too.
I love the Neelys. Love the Neelys.
So they're expecting 18,000 people there, and so you have to buy tickets ahead of time, and there's going to be food demos, but it's also going to be kind of like an exposition where there'll be people selling spices and stuff. So it should be a really fun thing. I'm actually doing one in March in West Palm Beach as well. They asked me to come do that one. Same group of presenters. So it's quite a haul to go to West Palm Beach, though. But
and let's share your website. My website, everybody knows, is heartofthehomerecipes.com. Your cookbook can be found through your website.
Yeah, it's just hanscooks.com. So really, HANSCOOKS.com. Hanscooks.com.
Well, your life has been so, I can't tell you, the ladies still, the little old grannies, we voted for Hans.
Oh, yeah.
I said, yes, I know you did. The whole town was rooting for you.
Yeah.
And as you have faced your battle with cancer, last week or so you had a little bit of problems.
Yep.
Everything is good now. The biopsy came back great, so we have to tell people great news. And the great news about it is you can eat like there's no tomorrow and do it sensibly. You have some great recipes in here.
Thank you.
You have some great recipes. And I told you the blue and blue would be Nick's favorite.
Yep.
That's one of those things. You've chosen a good variety. Some simple things.
And it's a big local angle on it, too, because I kind of feel like it needs to stay in our economy. In fact, I had the book printed locally as well, because I feel like that there's no reason I should spend my money to China for those kind of things.
That's what I was going to tell you. The guys who did my calendar did your cookbook, and they did a great job.
They did,
So that's very important that we do keep the money locally. Now, we tell you every week, go to local restaurants. How do folks get to the Woodbridge Inn?
Well, just downtown Jasper. You cross that bridge when you get there, kind of thing. But
that's right.
It's also the website is woodbridgeinn.net. And it's honestly one of the biggest landmarks in downtown Jasper, so you can't miss it.
And go by and have dinner. And remember, tell them Sherry Martin's favorite thing to make for dinner, reservations, of course, at the Woodbridge Inn. We hope that you will come back and join us. Every week we come to you. We love sharing our stories with you. And please send me your recipes and share your stories with me. If you have a great success story, if you have something going on we need to talk about, please get in touch with me at heartofthehomerecipes.com. Right now we're going to close. I think today we're going to close with some local music, maybe by the Barker Brothers. Sit back and enjoy. We'll be with you again soon.
Go down, Moses. Can't you hear God calling thee? Go down, Moses. Set my people free. God spoke to Moses in a burning bush. The fire of God came down. God said, Moses, take off your shoes. You're standing on holy ground.
Go down, Moses.
Can't you hear God calling thee? Go down, Moses. Set my people free. opened up his heart as plagues came one by one. Only the blood on the lintel would save the firstborn son.
Oh, thou Moses, can't you hear God calling thee?
Go down, Moses, set my people free. This angel came on quickly, like a thief in the night. But the Israelites were ready to take flight.
Oh, thou Moses, can't you hear God calling thee?
Go down, Moses, set my people free. God still speaks to us today through the fire that burns within. Only the blood of Jesus can save us from our sin.
Oh, thou children, can't you hear God calling thee?
Go down, children, let Jesus set you free.
Oh, thou children,
Go down, children, let Jesus set you free.
there's a path back in the mountains, that one new house where I was born. And even now, the memories linger. My mama smiles so soft and warm. Roll some pine, I hear you calling to me back to my home, where the fox and hell through the hills all roaming. Lonesome pine calling me home. It's been so long since I left that cabin in search of wealth, fortune, and fame. Late at night, when I'm alone and lonely, I sit here by Daddy, call my name. Lonesome pine, I can hear you calling to me back to my home, where the fox and hound through the hills all roaming. Lonesome pine calling me home. Someday soon I'm gonna travel back to the land that I love best. In the stillness of the mountains, I will find sweet peace and rest. Lonesome pine, I can hear you calling to me back to my home, where the fox and hound through the hills all roaming. Lonesome pine calling me home.
Now, y'all have to realize, 16 years ago, we did that 16 years ago. It seems like yesterday. We were sitting in my living room and Fred was behind the camera. Fred's gone to be with Jesus. So many people that were involved have gone to be with Jesus, and it is just crazy. Mama Lucy is gone. Sweet Hazel is gone. She was always there rooting me on. It is so crazy how the days and the moments, and then you're just a phone call away from getting bad, bad news. So I remember a day that Selena got bad, bad news. She had pancreatic cancer. You just saw she and Angel Spirit singing. They were going to churches. They were singing every Sunday. Everybody was loving their music. Nobody had even heard of these girls, and we brought them to television, and people fell in love with them. You prayed for Selena, and God called her home. We never know how He's going to answer, but we know that we can give Him the power of our prayer, and then He can take it and do what He wants to do with it. This is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and yesterday I wore pink. I wore pink really in honor of my guest because she looks awesome in pink, and she's so precious. But this is the month. Please remember to get your checkup. Early diagnosis is so very, very, very important. Now, somebody told me they were going to call and tell me some things that he wanted me to do, and everybody always has a list for me to, can you do this, can you do this, can you do this? And I've never understood the word no, so I usually do what I'm asked to do. So as always, I'm doing something, trying to explain, make you understand, give you an idea, and oh, there goes that phone. Hello. Oh my gosh. It's so good to hear from you. Oh my gosh, speaker, I miss you so much. Do you know that now that you're in heaven, Rick Jaspers is coming on. He's going to give us the report on the state of Georgia, and I'm so excited about that. And also, did you know that Andrew Clyde, of course you know, you're in heaven, you know everything. Yeah, we're still holding the conservative line, but it's been tough. It's been really hard. Folks are coming in with some new ideas, and we're thinking, we don't want no Stacey Abrams t-shirts. No, we don't want none of them. No. No. Yes, we're trying. Now, what do you think about the governor's race? Perdue? Do you think David Perdue would be good? I always thought you would be here to run for governor. We didn't know Jesus was going to call you home so soon. And we miss you. Boy, do we miss you. But we've learned from you. We've learned and we've remembered all the things you taught us. And one of the things you taught me is that live television is live television. Do you remember that day you showed up 45 minutes late? And I just went ahead and did the program until you got here, and then we ran another hour. So we ended up doing a 2-hour show that day. But you were in Atlanta traffic. Yes, the traffic is still crazy in Atlanta. Yes. Well, you can see that from where you are. You know that. You know that 285 is a disaster. Yeah. And people are leaving that area, coming here. Sometimes they bring their good ideas with them. A lot of conservatives are leaving Atlanta and coming up here. Yes, and we're very thankful for that. Yeah. And your precious Cherie, oh my God, she is doing so much for mental health. She is doing so much to stay rooted where you and she were planted and all the things that she could accomplish. I mean, she is amazing. So, job well done. Yeah, we miss you. I don't know who else is going to run for governor, though. Do you have any ideas? Well, if you come up with something, you can call me back. I know it's long distance, but, it's okay. I'll do this. I'll do that. We have a collect call from David Ralston. Yeah, I'll take that call. I'll take that call from heaven any day. We love you, we miss you, and we appreciate you. Yes, sir, we're holding the line. We're trying to stay conservative. Love you, buddy. Take care. Bye-bye. What a precious, precious man. Do I miss him? Immensely. Do I miss his guidance? Immensely. We had something happen a couple of weeks ago in Dawsonville, and we both looked at each other and said, if David Ralston was here, this wouldn't have happened. Things happen when you let the wrong people be in control. And we learn, we listen. Sometimes we learn by our mistakes, and we do the best that we can to correct those mistakes. So make sure as you go to the polls, you decide who you're going to vote for. How do you feel about your thoughts, your ways, your way of life? And remember what Granny said, you are known by the company you keep. If you live a conservative lifestyle, then choose conservative friends. I have a lot of friends that are Democrats who actually vote the way I do now. I have a lot of friends who were Democrats who've gone to be with Jesus, and one of them was like my mentor, my dearest friend. She was like a mom to me. She was a Democrat and her husband was Republican. All her children were Republican, and then I voted Republican. So we would laugh and we would say to Mama Joyce, you can go vote, but we're going to kill your vote real quick. You know, you vote your choice, but think about what you're voting for. And I want to introduce you to a man that I didn't vote for last time, but I'm voting for him this time. We're going to do just a little short blippet of an interview, and then you'll get to see the interview in its entirety. But I want you to meet somebody. He's worn a uniform, a police officer's uniform, for many years. He has moved up in the ranks, and I think that's what I liked about him. He started down here as low as he could go, and he's moved up and moved up and moved up, and they kept hiring him in better positions, and it's because he did a good job. So sit back, and you're going to get to meet somebody that I think deserves a little bit of respect from us. Here we go. Hey y'all, welcome to Ball Ground, Georgia. Guess what? Today we're going to go back, way back to where a young police officer who looked up to his father said, I think I want to try this for a living. I'd like to introduce you to Dennis Nelson. And Dennis, can you tell me some of the things that went before your name, from officer to lieutenant to what were the ranks that you achieved as a police officer?
Well, hi, Sherry. Thanks for connecting the interview. I started as a police officer in 1980, and that was with a small town, which the small town back then was the city of Ackworth. And I worked there until I decided I needed a little more excitement, and I went to the city of Roswell, and I liked it there. It was a good department, worked my way up to sergeant. I did everything there that you could do. I was a patrol officer and an investigator, auto theft investigator, motorcycle officer, traffic enforcement, and fatal crash investigator. And then I moved into administration and took over, or actually started the national accreditation process in Ball Ground. But during that time, I had other things going on. I met my lovely wife, Dawn, and we were married in Roswell United Methodist Church in the late 1980s. And she's been with me for most of my career. After Roswell, I went to Gwinnett County Sheriff's Office, and that was based on my accreditation background. The chief deputy there was a friend, and he said, I want you to come over here to Gwinnett County and get us state certified. Same thing that City of Ball Ground's getting ready to get. So I did that, and also handled training and support services. And then another sheriff, incoming sheriff, called me and said that he wanted me to come work for him, and that was Forsyth County Sheriff Ted Paxton. So I came over there. He said he wanted to get accredited, and we were able to get him accredited. I was there 10 years. Did a short stint at Fulton County Sheriff's Office. Worst job I ever had out of law enforcement. And from that point, I actually was asked by the city manager of City of Milton, to come over and help them get their community outreach program off the ground and accreditation. And so I did that. And then I decided I wanted to be a police chief. I had the experience. I had finished my college early on, and so I was qualified for it. And so I went to the city of Metter, down near Savannah, where everything's better in Metter. And nice small town, police department, force for about 15 officers, and worked down there for several years before coming back up here to Clayton County, where I was hired as a warden over the Clayton County prison. And I'm retiring from there in 3 days.
That's why I wanted to talk to you. You're retiring, but rumor is you're really not retiring. You're taking another job.
I am. My same friend who was the city manager in Milton is the city manager in Alpharetta. And so he called me and he said, I know you're retiring. He said, you have one more legacy left in you. He says, can you come over here and get our jail started? And so I told him I would give him a few years. So I actually starting there working full-time this next Monday, as a matter of fact.
And I've driven the drive that you've been making for years, and I can tell you the drive to Alpharetta is going to be much better.
It is much better.
Much better.
Much better.
Much better.
Yeah, the drive to Clayton County is through Atlanta both ways, and I've done it for a little over 11 years, and so it's time. I'm tired. The drive has worn me out. I get up at 3:45 in the morning, and I'm leaving the house by 4:15, just because I hate traffic so much. I can miss traffic at least once a day. In the afternoon, all bets are off. But again, only 3 days left of that.
That's awesome. Well, let's talk a little bit about why did you want to serve the public? Because you have certainly given your life to serving the public.
I guess I followed in my father's footsteps. He was a sheriff's deputy, and I always looked up to him for that. And it's kind of been in my bloodline. My great uncle was the first sheriff at Pickens County, and we also have other public service servants in my background. Governor Joseph E. Brown was my great uncle, and so service has always been there. And so I decided, I was going to follow in my dad's footsteps, and he was so proud of me for doing that. And
okay, the rest of the interview later. Today we have a very special couple who is celebrating an anniversary. I sold their house over in the Yellow Creek area several years ago, and when I went to view the house, it was a historical house in the middle of renovation, and they said, you probably don't want to list it in the condition it's in. I did. I listed it. I sold it. I love this couple, Linda and Jimmy. Happy, happy, happy anniversary. Happy anniversary. Enjoy every single moment you have together, because we know those moments don't always last. So today, make the most of every moment of the day. Get to know your candidates, get to know the, look at the lineup of who's going to run for lieutenant governor, who's going to run for governor. Do your research and vote your choice, because in America, you see that shirt, Charlie said it best, it is our freedom. It is our freedom to vote and to elect the people that we believe are right for the job. And today, I'm going to leave you where rivers, mountains, and good friends meet. If you haven't been to the mountains lately, get in your car and go. They are beautiful. The skies are blue, the sun is out, and the temperatures are a little bit nippy, but that's okay. Just wear a sweater and come and walk to Amicalola Falls, walk and enjoy the beautiful apple. Oh gosh, go pick yourself an apple. Go get yourself an apple pie, but get out of the house and enjoy these days. It is a gift from God, and we should enjoy every single one of them. I'll see you again soon. Bye, y'all.